Your time.
All right.
All right, here we go. You are live in 3, 2, 1. You're live.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining me on Close to Death. I'm Selena Roan from Fear Paranormal. And we have a pretty cool guest tonight. We're having a little bit of camera issues because of Microsoft Instagram or whatever. Yeah, it sucks. But Alyssa is with us.
I am. Hello, darling.
Hello. How's it going?
Well, it was good until the damn camera has, I don't know, I guess I'm not supposed to be shown tonight.
You know what? As long as you're heard, babe, that's all that matters because you got a lot to say tonight.
I do!
I know. I'm excited. I've been waiting for this. So.
Me too. Thank you for having me again. I really, truly appreciate it. And you know I do, so thank you.
Oh, yeah. You know it. So what has the Dark Doll been up to?
Oh, goodness. Kind of laying low. There's some projects in the mix with the beautiful Vampire Court of Austin, and I've been as vocal as I can about that. But yeah, there's some projects floating around, and we're just waiting on some green lights and paperwork, etc., to come in and be ready. But yeah, other than that, the weather's getting warmer. I'm not sure if I've mentioned this in the past, but I'm not a cold weather girl. I can't handle it, and so as far as investigating, I was kind of hibernating for the winter, to be honest. I was hibernating in the dungeon. So now that it's warmer, I'm looking forward to getting back out there and hitting up some places. I really want to start working on, maybe a clothing line, a line of cosmetics. I'm just letting my creative side flow a little bit right now. So. Yeah,
that's pretty cool. I actually am going to have the king and queen of the Vampire Court of Austin, Logan and Daly, on June 8th, so that ought to be pretty interesting.
Awesome. Yeah, you'll have a good time with them for sure.
Yeah, I watched the little segment on MTV, and I saw you in the background. I'm like, hey, there's Alyssa. I had to rewind it. I was like, wow, that's so cool.
I'm the whitest one in the room. Yeah, they started filming for that. They started filming for that back in September, October, and I was inducted into the court in October. And at that time, Voice of the Unknown was still in production. I mean, a lot of stuff was going on, so I didn't really get to make a lot of meetings and a lot of get-togethers. So, I wish I could have popped in the segment a little bit more than I did. But like I said, some ideas are floating around out there because of the True Life segment, and I'm gonna be a little more active. But yeah, I mean, the court is, it's taken me a long time to find my true little bubble of people, as an adult, and people I can grow with and trust and help to pull me up when I'm down and vice versa. And this is probably the most comfortable, the most secure I've ever felt with a group of people, and they're cool group. So good things are coming.
Yeah, I mean, Daly's been nothing but a sweetheart, talking back and forth with me and stuff like that. And I don't know what it is about you vampire chicks, but I'm like, man, I don't know what it is, but why are they all so hot like that? They gotta have all those badass pictures online and be tempting folks and stuff. So I was like, Jesus Christ.
Well, I mean, you know what? Everybody kind of finds their path in life, and when you get on the right path, you really kind of blossom, in your own way with style and conversation. And Daly she's one of the best friends I've made in my life. There's no judgment, and it took us a while to link up. And we kind of bypassed each other in public, and then one night, we just hit it off, and very, very headstrong, that one, and creative and proud, and they're just great people. I'm very, very, very lucky right now.
So I know that my audience is probably like, vampire chicks, what the hell are you talking about? Because, when you told me, I was like, wow, I didn't even know that was actually a thing. And you're like, yes. And so I've been being educated by you.
Kept sending you stuff like, here you go, check it out.
Yeah, I mean, you're my teacher on this thing. So I kind of wanted to let everybody else know you know, kind of how you're teaching me, like it's not all this Hollywood bullshit that you see of, you know, Twilight and True Blood and all this crazy crap going on. And I kind of wanted you on so that you could straighten that out for people and kind of educate people just a little bit.
Awesome. Well, yeah. As for Twilight, we are not fans, but True Blood kind of, you know, it gives that, you know, while there's still a lot of blood and a lot of, you know, crazy Hollywood gore, you know,
and sex like crazy.
Oh yeah, and you know, what's funny is the vampire culture and community is a lot bigger than people probably think. And the more you are active online and the more homework you do and research you do, you will see. You know, a lot of people do remain in the shadows, but no, they you know, they're a little bit more quiet, and of course we respect that. You know, Daly and Logan both have really just kind of you know, that they're following quite a few people in the vampire culture as far as social media and television and putting it out there, you know, in a very public light. You know, there's been a few before them, and you know, it's a very touchy subject. Like I've said in my past interviews and online, if you do follow me, I do have some family members and of course people that I grew up with and people that have been involved in my past that have a lot of negative things to say and you know, judge because of how it is depicted. You know, it's what's been out there for entertainment purposes. You know, satanic worshiping or blood feeding, you know, et cetera, and yes, there's part of the community known as sanguinarians that do feed on blood. They do have something within them that craves it, and they do it in the safest way possible. And I'm sure people are rolling their eyes. Yes, there are safe ways to do it, and you know, to each their own. The beautiful thing about this community is it's so open and so open-minded and non-judgmental. So for those to judge us, you know, I feel sorry for those people. I think people that do that just simply haven't found their way in life and found their path, and that's where that comes from. But it's definitely, like I said, the most loving group. I mean, we went to New Orleans, you know, a couple months back, and I never felt so safe. Not because of how everyone was dressed and the stigma, but because of how well everybody took care of one another. And I've never had that. I've never experienced that. But you know, I am somewhat of an energy feeder, and I've been like that since I was a kid. You know, doctors would prescribe it as nerves or anxiety as a kid, and it was just me it hit me at a very young age, and I didn't have what is known as the awakening in the vampire community until I was about 19 or 20, because it took me so long to kind of come into my own. I was a late bloomer and was just really lost as a kid and really lost as a teenager and super lost as a, you know, beginner adult. And but I have always been able to feed off of energy, ambient energy in a crowd, energy around me, paranormal energy, of course. You know, that's a whole other friggin' topic. You know, the paranormal and vampire, you know, my vampirism go hand in hand. So it was only a natural transition for me. There are also what are known as pranic feeders or pranic, and those vampires feed on sex and they feed on physical touch and pleasure. So True Blood hits it, you know, on the head in that way. So, you know, again, people are going to judge, but I think that's with any field. I think that's with any lifestyle, any industry. It's going to happen, and so, you know, we're just a very open court and community, and like I said, there's good things in the future coming. So people need to open their eyes and their minds, and yeah, just be intrigued rather than judgmental.
Oh, I'm totally intrigued. I'm like, you know, the first thing I asked you was, do you suck blood? And you're like, well, I don't. And I was like, because, you know, that's the thing that they show you, is that it's so, like, almost animalistic, whether it be the blood sucking or the sex. It's like almost animalistic. And I'm like, I guess if I was going to be a vampire, I'd probably be one of those you just mentioned.
I mean, and here's the thing, you can kind of, it just comes down to, because we're always growing as individuals, just, it's human nature, you know, you constantly grow, you constantly change, and it's the same way with vampirism. I mean, you can dabble a little bit, and everyone kind of has. They've kind of dabbled in each little category, but in the end, you kind of end up finding where your strongest suit is. And for me personally, it is energy feeding. And it can either be really good or really bad. I can either get really overwhelmed or really underwhelmed and need to go out and get my fix from the energy around me and the people around me. But the one of the biggest rules in this community is you do not take without asking, be it blood, be it sex, obviously, and be it energy. You do not take without asking for permission. That is a huge rule that can be broken. And yeah, so there are rules.
Yeah, I saw that with Daly when on the special when she was at work, and her coworker is also, I guess, coming into the court or whatever, and are learning about it. I don't know, but she said, man, I'm really low on energy, and she said, would you like some of mine? And so
Yes.
David was like, well, that would be awesome. And so all she did was kind of like, I mean, just to let the audience know, she was just kind of rubbing her back, like taking the, like taking some of her energy off. And I mean, it's kind of crazy you say that, because I've been told like at least by 5 different people that they love my energy that comes off of me. And I'm like, well, no wonder Alyssa and I got, hit it off the first time we met. Now it all kind of makes sense.
And you're an empath, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, and well, see, and that plays a big part. Again, the paranormal and the vampire community go hand in hand. So it was only natural for Logan and I to first hook up, and then Logan and Daly and I to first hook up, and then for me to be inducted into the court as quickly as I was, because, like I said, it's taken me quite a few years. There have been stumbles and falls, but I finally found, okay, this is who I am. This is what is inside of me and outside of me. And if I lose people in the process, then so be it, because it's just, like I said, life is about finding your path and finding your way. It's too short to follow the crowd or not come into your own. I mean, live life is all I can say.
Well, that's, and I've been asking for, things about what exactly is this vampire mean, and what does that vampire mean, and I'm still learning that stuff, and it's extremely intriguing to me, because, like I said, my mother must have sheltered me so well, because there are things that I didn't even know existed. And I know that vampires feel comfortable in New Orleans for some reason. All that whole area, they said, is my friend Chris goes, oh my God, there's so many vampires here. It's unreal.
Oh yeah.
Oh, no wonder.
It's that city. I grew up. I had the privilege of growing up going to New Orleans, because my brother met his unfortunately ex-wife and my ex-sister-in-law, but she's from Louisiana, and so I got, and they lived in New Orleans, and so I grew up getting to go. I mean, I remember being a kid and being on Franklin Square. I mean, I remember being in the whole area and getting henna tattoos, and even as a 6-7-year-old kid being so drawn to a particular part of that city and that energy, only to go a little while ago, a couple months back, and really my whole life come into perspective. I mean, in those couple of days, everything just came full circle in so many ways. And and now just being open in the paranormal field, I think a lot of people think it's an attention thing, or me trying to be as different as possible, and it's really not. It's just I've just found my path, and I'm going to put it out there in any way, shape, and form, and people are either going to follow or fall behind, and I'm not really, it doesn't bother me. I don't care.
Well, you know what? You found you, and if they're your true friends, they're going to love you for who you are. And that's why I keep telling you, I'm never going to judge you. I'll always be your friend. You can do what makes you comfortable and makes you happy. That's what friends are supposed to do, is
absolutely
encourage that, and not down you for that, because we're different in a couple of ways doesn't mean that we can't, be friends and not. I mean, you're different from me. I'm a lesbian, so and you still are friends with me, so
yeah, Yeah, I mean, like I said, life is too short, and it's so, I mean, with all the shit that's going on, you know, with just everything with you know, weather occurrences and disappearing planes. I mean, my God, there's just so much shit going on, and you know, we're not promised tomorrow, and you know, those of us involved in the paranormal field know that because of what we do on a daily basis. But honestly, even for the main, for society in itself, life is too short. Stop spending your time attacking and judging and questioning, and just either accept it and be intrigued or move on to something else. But you know, to tap back on what you said on, you know, just learning, and if anybody is curious, you know, I've got so many YouTube videos and online links saved, and interesting books to check out. So anybody's welcome to reach out to me on Facebook or my Twitter or my website. Shoot me an email, and I'll put you in the right direction, because it is a very interesting topic, and something that's not going away anytime soon. It's been here before us. It'll be here after us. So, yeah.
We just got an interesting comment in the chat room. Julie says, a vampire and a lesbian, what are the odds? I love this show.
It's fun. It's interesting. I mean, lifestyles are, I mean, it's, God, like, it's so interesting to be somewhat, I don't know if different's the right word, but, you know, lifestyles, you know, different personalities. Like, I don't know. I couldn't imagine being quote unquote normal. I never was the normal kid, and I'm certain. I know, right? We don't speak that language, and that's, you know, for some people that is okay, and of course that's cool. Like if they want to, you know, live by the rule and live by the book and do what's expected of them, etc. And that's fine. Do you? But let us do us. You know, let us be us.
Yeah, I mean. We're not hurting anyone else, and we're not hurting ourselves. That's the main thing. We're happy, and that's where everybody needs to be, is happy. Whether that be straight, gay, vampire, not, whatever. You know?
Yes, ma'am. There you go.
Just be happy and quit messing with people. And that's another thing.
Hey.
That's another thing. Don't be messing with my friend, man. I'm getting a little ticked off here, and people are internet bullying you, so I want to kind of talk about that a little bit.
Yeah.
Not calling out any names or anything, because we can't do that, but I definitely want to talk about that subject.
Yeah.
So what has been happening with this issue with you?
Well, you know, and I don't know if they're listening. I know that I'm still being, you know, checked up on and followed, and you know, unfortunately, as I said earlier,
right,
do what?
You're doing something right, babe. If you got haters, you're doing something right.
I mean, here's the thing, though. People are going to hate. People are going to judge. That's not going to go away, and that's fine. You know, you know, Cat Williams is one of my, oh my God, one of the best comedians out there, and very, very wise, funny individual, that one. But he says, a hater's job is to hate. Let them do their job. And so I'm all for that. You know, people that don't know me, that judge me, that's, you know, whatever, teach their own. It's a waste of time, and I feel sorry for you, but go on. But when it comes down to people that, you know, you're once friends with and you once trusted, people you've spent years with and established a friendship with or a relationship with, when it's those that kind of do some damage and attack you and quote unquote call you a victim, you know, I've heard that so many times I could throw up. I think we are all victims at one point or another. It's part of life. We fuck up, excuse me, but we make mistakes, and we shouldn't be damned for it. And that's, you know, I talked to you about a week ago before the show, and there were a couple of days where I was off of work and I was at home, and you know, I found some stuff on the internet about me that was kind of hard to read. You know, the internet's not written in pencil; it's written in ink. People voice their anger and jealousy from behind a screen. You know, in a dark room these days, because it's the only way where they can vent their rage and voice their opinion without getting the shit beat out of them. And yeah, it's funny that these people have not approached me. You know, Austin's not that big of a place. I'm easily reachable, and these individuals for the last 3 years, there's 2 or 3 of them, have attacked me online. I made some really poor choices and decisions, as we all do. When I was about 20 years old, I was friends with the wrong people and dating the wrong people that I had to impress, and I let them kind of control my everything, my looks, my mindset, and my career choices. And unfortunately, it's out there online, and I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. I don't really regret anything that I did. I'm not I didn't pop out anyone's children. I don't have a mugshot. I don't have a criminal background. I didn't threaten to murder anybody or say that I have. And these people have, said and done those things. So it just baffles me that I'm still being targeted. And these are people that, again, I once trusted. And, it kind of opened my eyes up a week ago when I opened up to you about it, that, the more out there I put myself and the more involved I am with the court, the Vampire Court of Boston, things are going to start rolling, the ball's going to start rolling. And, I'm going to come clean with things that I've done. I've screwed up, but I killed that girl. That's an old me that followed the crowd. That's an old me that hid who she was and listened to the wrong people because they were telling me that they loved me and had my back. And the minute I turned around, they just chunked that knife into that back, and I killed that girl. She's gone. She's long gone, never coming back. And if I ever came across, and of course I'm talking about me, if I ever came across that girl from the past, I would probably grab her by the neck and say, "What are you doing?" Again, you come across the wrong people you think you can trust, and it's very unfortunate. But the biggest thing is victimization, and these. I don't know what they seek. I don't know if it's retaliation or revenge, but I've never really done anything to really hurt anyone. I would admit it if I did, and I don't know. It's just a shame. So the whole online bullying thing, I'm really trying to become an advocate for. And again, if those people are listening, I'm sure they're rolling their eyes saying, "Oh, there she is playing victim again." And you know what? I am a fucking victim, and I think a lot of us are. And if you aren't victimized in your life at one point or another, I don't think you grow. And those people are too self-centered, psychotic, egotistical to look into the mirror really hard at themselves and admit they're wrong. Again, it's there's a lot of details, and I need to start writing a book. And the thing is I'm still being watched and I'm still being followed, and I haven't sunk to these people's level, but I'm getting pretty damn close. That my family was attacked, and again, things have been put out there online that are completely false and fabricated. These people are very good at what they do, and I've got some dirt as well, and I'm not scared to. You can only be pushed so far. You can only be poked and prodded so much. Like, give it a rest. I'm about to be 26 in May, and that's why I'm so passionate about the court, because they don't give a damn about what I've done. I'm in a new relationship. He doesn't give a shit what I've done. I've got these people behind me, backing me. I've got a family that supports me, and people like you, Selena. I've got a good circle of people around me. So I'm basically, if I was on camera right now, I'd have 2 fingers in the air.
I was just saluting for you.
Thank you. I just don't condone bad, dirty, rotten people that have dug their own graves, that go around slamming others. So, yeah, it's unfortunate, but one of these days it'll be funny, and I'll be on the other end, and I know they say turn the other cheek, but my cheeks are pretty bruised, and I'm not the kind of girl that doesn't, I'll take care of my business. I'll handle them at one point or another. But
oh yeah, I have no doubt about that. I just had a little dealing with a little internet bullying myself, which is so funny because it was really over something so stupid, and they were such a chicken shit that they messaged me real quick, and then they went and blocked me real fast, so I couldn't even respond. You know?
Yep. Oh yeah.
So I had my friend take care of that, and now they don't have a Facebook account.
Oh, there you go.
Oh yeah, they've been off. And it was for something so stupid. And I was like, you know what? I ain't even got time for this mess. And then, you know, there's been a couple other things. When I was growing up, you know, in Lancaster, Texas, which you are not supposed to be gay in Lancaster, Texas, I was completely tortured. You know, chased around, beer bottles thrown at, called all kinds of names. You know, it was complete torture. Now, if I were in high school, I'd be the coolest chick in school.
Yeah, there you go.
You know, because the lesbian thing's the in thing now. But back in 1986 and 87, when you weren't even thought about.
Maybe, I don't know. I haven't had that conversation with my parents. I think my mom got bored and needed a little Spitfire running around. But
you got one. She got her one, and that's all good. But, you know, I totally understand what you're talking about with being bullied. And you know, I made choices back in my day that now I'm like, really? But, you know, I was, you know, 18, 19, 20, and at 20 years old, man, you get a pass, dude. You're not even, like, legal to drink. So if you make some mistakes, they should be just kind of erased and forgotten about because you're still really young. I mean, 26, God, I would love to be 26 again. But, you know, I get real irritated when people... Like, I had that happen recently to me, and I've talked to you about this, where somebody said they had my back and they were going to do all this stuff, and it was going to be so different, and they were going to help promote me and all this stuff, and the next thing I know, you know, I've got your back. Well, yeah, with a knife in it.
Exactly.
You know, and you live and learn. You know, you have to be careful who you trust, and I'm lucky to say that I have at least 5 people that I can trust my life with, 2 of them. And then the rest I can trust secrets with, but that's about it. And, you know, you just have to, I'm really happy to hear that you found this circle of people that accept you and they don't judge you and they don't treat you like crap. And, you know, out of that, your trip to New Orleans, I know, because right after that is when your man came into play. So I think that trip had something to do with him being in the picture, and that I'm very happy about because, you know, I wanted you to be happy like that. I want you to have all that stuff, and I'm glad that he's respectful and not like your ex and all that stuff. I mean, they're an ex for a reason. Okay? So you upgrade.
Crazy motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you know, I really appreciate that. Like I said, people say keep your friends close, your enemies closer, and I said this a time or two on Facebook. I live my life a little different. I keep my enemies close, but I keep my friends closer because I've been damned and scorned 3 times now, and you know, it's a damn shame because, you know, living with these people and being in these people's lives, you know, I know they're dark and they're dirty. I know it. And just because a little bit of mine was put out there online, you know, because I hadn't found myself yet and I had to please these people. Or it was, well, you can either do this or you can go. And I'm like, shit, we just kind of started a pact together. You know, we just moved in together. Like, what the hell? Like, well, where's this all coming from? And then dealing with psycho baby mamas and just, you know, it just seemed like every time I turned around, you know, they were approaching my parents or approaching mutual friends and saying, God, Alyssa is like crazy. She's screwed up. She's dirty. The things have been written online, you know, they've attacked, you know, they've attacked not only those kinds of things, but like my style and my teeth of all things. Like I'm just baffled. I'm baffled. But, you know, power doesn't come from money or status. True power comes from how aware you are and who and what you make yourself. And I'm not talking about when you're a teenager or you're a legal adult, you know, 21 years old. I'm talking about that middle period, you know, your mid-20s, your mid-30s, your mid-40s. Age is a number to me, and so I kind of hate talking about age, but you hit that certain point in life where mentally, physically, and psychologically you just change. And you know, I come from such a small town, and I don't talk to many of those kids anymore. You know, they all lived off mom and dad's money and went to college and fucked around and either didn't graduate or they did and they don't have jobs now, or they've all migrated back towards my hometown and they've had the nerve to, you know, to just, you know, think negatively of me. And I'm like, God, you know, I'm just living life. I wasn't homecoming queen. I wasn't even nominated. I was a follower in high school. You know, I wasn't sought out to be the girlfriend, and I wasn't cheerleader, and I wasn't good in school. It wasn't my thing. And so, you know, I was lost then. I continued to be lost out of high school, and right now with my approaching birthday, I can say that I am on the path I should have been on a long time ago. Bad people are out of my life. They're not coming back in. They can try. They won't do it. Continue to slam me online, and I'm gonna dig into my little box of revenge, and I'm gonna come back hard, because I just don't condone judgmental bullies. You need to take a long look in the mirror and come clean with the mistakes you've made as a bully. You know, don't be jealous. Don't be hating. Do you. I mean, tomorrow is always a new day. Tomorrow's a new day to write a new chapter, so make it a good one.
Yeah, exactly. And you know that I'm so glad that you kind of hit on all this, because a lot of people do get bullied and they don't say anything and they just let it roll. And a lot of times the bullies that are doing it, there's reasons why they do it, and it's because they either hate themselves, they're jealous of you, or, you know, they're just plain miserable in their own lives and have nothing better to do. And it's like, you know, and most of them, and I hate to say this because I'm not going to say most, I'll say some of them have been the most Bible-thumping Christians that are the most judgmental that I've ever seen in my life.
Yes, yes.
I mean,
You are
horrible.
absolutely
And
right.
I hate when they use religion to bully. It just makes me so damn mad I can't even see straight.
I know.
And they keep forgetting that that Bible that they go by has been rewritten so many freaking times, and it's in man's interpretation every time. And so what is really to say that it's actually the Word? So I hate when they use the words of the Bible, because the Bible was not made to be a weapon, and they're using it as a weapon against gays, against, you know, anybody different than what they are.
No doubt.
And it's just ridiculous. And I do not find it Christian at all. And God would not do that. So
it's a sham. It's a cover-up. They have like I was talking about, people hiding behind the damn computer screen. People are hiding behind their Bibles too. Like, to each their own. If religion has helped you in your life and in your path, go with that. That is such a beautiful and wonderful thing. Everybody has their one thing that pulls them out of a dark fucking hole. Whether it be the Bible, or whether it be a new job, or a new relationship, or a new hobby, or a new haircut. Everybody has something. So get off each other's backs and let it be. Let it be. I tell you what, I've just been so quiet for so long, and I finally, you know, it just hit me.
I knew something was going on, because we talked quite a bit, and then all of a sudden it was like I didn't hear much, and I'm like, something's going on with her. And I know you had a new boyfriend. I said, that's probably just that. But I was like, I'm going to leave her be with her new man. So
It was that, but also just another self-revelation, another awakening process, if you will. We call it the awakening process in the vampire community. And, you know, I had Logan and Daly over before the New Orleans trip, and I remember asking God, can we awaken more than once? And I remember Logan's eyes got big, and he just nodded silently and looked at me. I was like, really? Like, how many times are we talking? And he was like, my God, I just went through my third. And I'm like, well, shit, I must be too, because everything's kind of, you know, I was just, I don't know. It was a weird little period of time for me, and then the New Orleans trip happened, and again, I just, you know, everybody finds their people, everybody finds their way. It took me a little bit longer, so I don't want to be damned for it, and I'm tired of being pushed around for it, and you know, yeah. So I definitely want to, I'm looking to be somewhat of a, a bully advocate. And unfortunately, all I've really been able to research and find has to do with school bullying and kids being bullied, which, I'm all for that. Like, I'm grateful there's programs for that, because I have nieces and nephews that I don't want to go through that. But adults can be bullied too,
Yeah.
And I definitely want to maybe I should just start my own damn thing. I don't know, but
You
but
can
it,
do.
I should. I really should, because everybody is at one point or another, and it's just not fair. It's not fair. It would be one thing if I was a psychotic, murdering, alcoholic or whatever, but I just don't. My past just really isn't as bad as what it's been made to look like. I mean, it's 2014, and everybody's got a little bit of a bad past, and that's not me anymore, and I'm tired of the same people riding my ass. Also, abusive relationships, I went through those as well, and it's just not cool. It's just not cool. So I'm really just trying to, like I said, I kind of dipped out for a while and try to put things back into perspective, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to rise above this, and I've got too many good people around me that will back me no matter what. When Logan and Daly and I all first met, or I should say Logan and I, he received multiple messages online about, don't trust her, and she's done this and that, and then he was just like, what the hell? He was like, I don't give a shit what she's done, and so again, these people are just, this group I've been lucky enough to come into, they just don't judge, and they don't care, and I was automatically so defensive when they first came in. I automatically had my guards up because that's all I've known. And,
Yeah.
You
get hops in your back, Yeah.
So you become depressed, you become sheltered, you become distant. And so when I finally found these people, I was kind of like, okay, it's, I had my walls up, and then slowly they started to come down. And I'll tell you what, these people would go to bat for me. Any day of the week. So, yeah.
I kind of sense that just by watching them and by watching the way they treat the people in their court and the respect. And then there was an incident or something at a bar, and I guess one of the vamps bit someone without asking or something, and it was just kind of a playful thing, but she was really pissed off and hurt, and Logan was beside himself pissed off and said that is not okay.
Yeah,
you never do that.
Yeah,
So,
and it wasn't real. I don't, and I wasn't there that particular night, but it wasn't. It was just someone involved. I think in the
not of the court, but just making them look bad,
Yeah,
and
because that's
like that.
That's what we're trying to. People are saying, they're devil worshippers, and you're going around, biting people. And there are some groups out there that do condone that, and they do put it out there in the wrong light. And Logan and Daly are just trying to flip it around and say, we have rights and wrongs just like any other group. There are lines that can be crossed, and we don't condone that. So yeah, they were pretty heated about it, and so.
I was talking to my buddy, and he saw your picture, and he's like, Jesus Christ, and I go, question is, would you let her buy you? And he goes, duh. He goes, she wouldn't even have to ask me. And I go, well, she would, but I don't know that she does all that. But anyway, it was pretty funny. But he goes, what is up with the vamp chicks? I go, I don't know. But he goes, I don't mind checking them out, though. He goes, they're really, really hot. And I'm like, when I saw Daly's picture, I was like, okay, I already had a list of pictures to look at. Now Daly's coming on going, boom, boom, boom. And I'm like, God bless America. And there must be something to this vamp thing, man. I swear.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead, babe.
No, I'm repeating myself. I think it just, it's 2014, and styles are always changing, and makeup's always changing, and Daly's been modeling since she was like, God, I don't know, 12, 13 years, maybe 14. She was young. I mean, she's a teenager. She's done fashion modeling and has been in front of the camera for so long. She's little. She's little.
I was like, oh my God.
But she's beautiful. She's beautiful and so smart and funny, and she's got her own, her own advocates, her own project. She's got Project Ass that celebrates all shapes and sizes because she's gone through her fair share of bullying for being little, and it's like, really? Like, size is size. Size is a number. Like, get off it, man.
Oh, shit, I wish, I mean, I was never that small. I don't even think when I was 11 years old was I that small because, I grew up an Amazon chick, so I was always pretty big, but, I would love to have a body like that to where I could take photos. Like, I wouldn't take photos like that because I'm butch, but, back in the day, I might have.
As long as you're happy, like I said, I don't think there's any. It's as long as you're happy with how you look on the outside, how you feel on the inside. That's all that matters. And it's like I said, tomorrow's a new day, and if you want to dye your hair purple and get a new tattoo and don't go on a trip around the world, fucking do it. Like, why not? Don't ask for any permission or anyone's opinions. Just go do it.
That's pretty much what I just got sick of hearing everybody's bullshit. So I just said, you know what? You don't like me? Delete me. I don't care.
Go away. I ain't got the time for it. No time.
Ain't nobody got no time for that. You know what I'm saying?
That, no. No, ma'am.
So paranormally, what have you got going on? Are you doing anything paranormally? I mean, I'm. We haven't gotten to investigate together yet. I know you don't like. I know Dark Doll is a one woman show, but you do like to go with a couple of people, and we've been wanting to go investigate together for a while now. So
and we have, and when we tried to, is when all that shitty weather hit, and it just seems like it hasn't gotten any better. I mean, it's like it's constant weather chaos, and I'm just
El Nino.
God, right? Like even when the vampires went to New Orleans, like we hit a horrible ice storm going in and coming out, and it took us 14 hours to get there. And there are some pretty funny photos and videos online
I saw some.
Oh yeah,
y'all had a good time.
That was the thing. We finally got to the house at we left Austin at noon, and we probably pulled into, we left maybe around 1 or 2. We pulled into New Orleans at about 6 a.m. And I remember we were all getting into our rooms, and Logan came into mine and Priscilla's room, and he was like, if we had to turn around and go home, I would have been just fine, because that was the funnest fucking road trip. And it was. I mean, it was just, like I said, you got to find your circle of people where you can just, it's hard to explain. But no, paranormally, like I said, the weather's starting to get a little bit nicer, and, I'm really looking forward to getting back out there and going to some favorite places and do some more traveling. I had a couple of speaking engagements and a couple of spots at some conventions this year that I've decided to pull out of, just because there's just some things coming up in the future. I'm trying to keep my schedule as open as possible, so when we finally get that green light, I can be ready to go. But there's always
that.
I can't wait to talk more about it. Like I said, I'm laying low right now, but there's always something going on in my house. There's either a door opening or a voice heard, and so that keeps the paranormal ball rolling for me, I guess, in my world. But there's a couple documentaries I'm filming for coming up in the spring. Of course, Will's stuff. Yeah, so the better the weather that gets, the more I will come out of the dungeon and go play. It's just been too damn cold.
Yeah, true that. I just got back. Speaking of bad weather, we just got back from Little Rock this afternoon from Chip Coffee's Coffee Talk in Little Rock, Arkansas, and we came through a monsoon coming home too. It was crazy, but we had such a blast, and it was so awesome to meet so many cool people. And Chip is always, he is always a total handful, and he makes me laugh so hard my face hurts. So we had a great time.
There you go.
But we did talk about my girl Alyssa, and he said, I just don't understand it. He goes, I ain't knocking it. I just never have, delved into the whole thing, so I don't understand it. And I'm like, well, whether it's understandable or not, that's my friend, and I care about her, and I don't want nobody messing with her. And he said, I can totally get that. And I said, she's Dark Doll, and I said, she's only one girl. I said, but I'm his bodyguard, so he always calls me his bodyguard. So I said, I can moonlight and bodyguard for her too. It's not gonna affect my.
I mean, and I don't want to, because I did an interview about a month or so ago on Wicked, and there were people that were just really, really curious. They were so stuck on the fact that I went by myself, and they were like, God, there's safety precautions, and I'm like, Jesus, I'm not 14. My mother knows. She's 40 minutes from me, and I mean that is my best friend in the entire world. She fits the bill of a true best friend. Screw all the other ones I've had. She's my best friend. She knows the good, the bad, the dirty, the ugly, and she will fight for me until she's blue in the face. But every time I leave the house, whether I'm going to the grocery store or I'm driving, down south to an investigation, she knows where I am. So there's always someone that knows where I am. I do it the right way, and it has nothing to do with me being, an introvert and antisocial. I'm all about going with groups and having a good time. But the way my energy works and my anxiety works, it's just easier for me to either be by myself or have one or two other people. And, so I just like to keep the group small, because when I started doing this when I was 18 professionally, I was going with a lot of people. There was about 5 or 6 in the group, and it was all girls, and they'd freak out and scream and run, and I was just like, damn it, I can't, it would just overwhelm me. So I've just found, just like with any other, an author has their particular way of thinking and writing, and someone who owns a business has their particular way of working with other people. That's just how I handle my paranormal work. I just do better by myself or with 1 or 2 other people, period. I have my own style of doing it, and that's just how it is.
Well, we'll have to get you up to Miss Hattie's in Belton, because that place is no joke.
So I've seen, I was watching, some of your stuff, and you talked about it, and I did a little bit of my research, and that's the thing is, God, there's just so many places I'm dying to go, more so overseas. I need to get to Edinburgh, Scotland as soon as possible, and the catacombs in Paris, and the suicide forest in Japan. There's just, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to travel. My passport's ready. I'm ready to fucking take off and go and just explore uncharted territory. But I definitely want to get to Miss Hattie's for sure.
Yeah.
The
EVP I got was like bone chilling. I mean, I couldn't believe how clear it was, and the history there is just so amazing. We had some changes go on, and some things were happening there that wasn't really cool. So Fear kind of stepped in, and we're going to go down there and clear everything out and clean everything up and help the lady. She's really an elderly lady, but she's really cool, and now this is the coolest part about it.
Yeah.
She, the owner of the place, respects those spirits so much, she calls them her people. And
I love it. Yeah.
I know she doesn't like anyone messing with them or threatening them or anyone. She shows them complete respect, and she treats them as if they're her family.
I love it.
And she wants that place to continue on, and the way it was going, she wasn't getting the money that she was supposed to be getting. So we kind of had to take a step and say, we're not going to allow this to happen, and we're going to go ahead and help this lady out and get her business going her way.
Awesome.
To her, and keep Miss Hattie's in the mix, because this place is so incredibly cool, and the history there. And Regina, my friend Regina Stewart, did a walkthrough, and she was picking up on some massively crazy stuff that happened there. But Nikki, the owner, is just the sweetest lady, and like I said, Fear is going to go down there and help her get all that cleaned out, so that when we do that, I'll be more than happy to come meet you down there, and we can investigate together, because
I'm down. I
love it.
I'm totally down. That's the thing. There's really one of the biggest questions I get asked is, what is off limits? Where's a place you wouldn't go? And then there's really nowhere I wouldn't go. The attack that I had in Voice of the Unknown, my God, I'd let it happen again, because it made for damn good footage. But you know, I'm so protected in my home, and I've got such a great, you know, my guardian. I've got my three guardians around me. I've got my grandmother, my stepdad, and then another older woman that I believe is the first spirit I ever saw that I called Lady when I was 2 years old.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, they're always with me, and so you know, I'm very protected, and so no place will scare me. I just I'm just the paranormal in itself is just it's just always been my outlet, and the connections I have with it and the way it makes me feel has just lifted me up in the darkest times. And I know that sounds so weird to normal people, and you know, people are like, what does that even mean? She's off her rocker. But I mean, when you know, I've had it since I was 2 years old, and like I said, I'm about to be 26, and so I've actually had people approach me that have said, I tend to stay away from people like you. I'm like, what does that mean? And they're like, well, you invite things in, and I don't want to see it. And I'm like, then step off, you know, because I can't flip a switch. You know, I can't just say, okay, today I'm not going to see or hear anything. You know, it doesn't work that way. I've just, you know, the last couple of years have just been a little more open and out with it, and said, you know, this is me, and this is my world, and it is what it is. So I'm definitely looking forward to, you know, I mean, we're still brand new into 2014, and I'm just ready to, you know, I'm ready to take the year on, and yeah, I'm excited.
We've already taken out the trash. We've already taken out some trash, so we're getting negative out, right?
Yeah, I gotta constantly clean that bubble up and take out the trash, because you just never know. You never know, and you know, I think some people feel like they have to have 10 to 20 people around them, but really, if you have one person, that as long as you have one person that you can go to and vent to and trust, you know, that's a good number, and that's a positive. So
definitely, and I'm kind of jealous, but I'm so happy to hear that you have the same relationship with your mom as I did my mom.
Yes, ma'am. I know you.
Yes. We talked about that, man. I saw the connection with you guys, and yes, that is your best friend, and it will always be your best friend till the day she takes her last breath. Or you the same.
Yes.
And,
yes.
You know, my mom. It's been 10 years ago, March 21st, that I lost mine. But let me tell you something. I know that you treasure every second with your mom. I've seen it, and I don't think you'll have one regret if anything happens that you've wasted any time.
Yeah, you know what? We talk about it so much, and you know, like I said, I grew up in a family where everyone's had some type of connection or some type of experience, and I'm talking about my immediate family. You know, I have cousins that I really don't have relationships with, and they have their own opinions about me, and that's fine. You know, if I keep you close to me, cool, and if you're not close to me, well, then there's a reason for that. And you know, my immediate family, we all. There's an understanding, but definitely with my mother, yeah. I mean, I put her and my dad. I'll be fair. I put them through some shit, you know. As we go through those teenage years. I really I was, like I said, I was lost. And I'm not ashamed to admit it. I made mistakes and screwed up. I put them through some shit, and so, you know, my first goal is when I finally, you know, sign some stuff and get out there, you know, they're going to be so well taken care of, because they just deserve it, and I can't lose a moment with them, you know, whether it be a phone call or a visit. I just can't. It just, right. Family is too damn precious and important, and yeah, and family being blood or not blood, you know, blood related or not blood related, doesn't matter. Family, you know, it can mean so many different things. So yeah, yeah, life is good right now, and the path is good, and the path is clean, and like I said, I want to reach out to certain people that may feel stuck or may feel abused or may feel just weird. You know, I don't know if I look approachable or if I don't look like I should be approached. I don't mean to put it out there a certain way. I do have a good heart, and I am open. And I've seen a lot and heard a lot and been through a lot, and you know, I want to share it and help whoever I can. So people are more than welcome to reach out to me, except for those couple of people that I talked about.
And then you'll better back the hell off.
Oh yeah.
So, I really hope that this helped make you feel better and get a little something off your chest. And I want to have you back again for sure, because I know that this thing's going to go with the Vampire Court, and I want to hear all about it when you talk about it.
Oh yeah, of course.
So why don't you tell everybody where they can find you before we wrap up, so that they can reach out to you if they need to.
Right on. Yes, I am Onyx, ONYX on Facebook. Again, I monitor it heavily. If you look like a creeper or you're sending me nonsense, you're not going to get through the gates. But again, I would like to, have some people reach out. So by all means, get in contact with me. You can send me a message. Twitter, I am somewhat active on. Again, that's at Alyssa Onyx. And then I have my website, darkdollparanormal.com, which I do not update as often as I should. And it's because I'm challenged and I don't understand certain things about, oh my God, my website is so hard to work. I've got somebody great out there that helps me with it. Thank God for him, but I need to get back on it. But Facebook is the easiest way, as it seems to be with everybody. I think Facebook in itself is just the prime tool. So by all means, reach out. I'm going to start doing some video blogs and touch more on bullying and harassment and, yada yada. And I'm going to start doing more makeup videos and style videos and just, I don't know, live life as much as I can. So by all means, reach out.
Sweetness. All right. Well, thank you so much for being on tonight.
I appreciate it more than you know. I really, really do. I appreciate your friendship and your loyalty and your respect more than anything. So thank you.
You got it all. All right, girl. I will talk to you soon. Have a good evening, all right?
You do the same. Be safe.
Oh, yeah. Always.
Bye, love.
Bye. All right. That was the awesome Alyssa Onyx. I hope y'all learned a little something from her. She's very well spoken, and she gets right to the point. She doesn't sugarcoat much, and that's why I love her so much. And we're such good friends because we shoot straight. I got a couple of things to announce, and that is that we have HHL, History, Haunts, and Legends in Jefferson next weekend. It's going to be an awesome event. Penn and myself will be there, so you need to come out and see us. We got Tyler, April 26th, the Tyler Paracon, which will be held in Tyler, Texas, of course, and we've got the guys from Deep South Paranormal coming to that, so we'll be hanging with those guys. Then we got Granbury Paranormal Expo on May 17th, and I'm speaking at that one also. I think there's a guy from the X-Files that's supposed to be there. It's not David Duchovny, but it's Eric Hagelin from X-Files that's also speaking. And then New Orleans, I'm going to be at the Andrew Jackson investigation with the guys from Paranormal Society of New Orleans and the Deep South Paranormal guys. So you got to get your tickets. I think we have like 4 left on there, and it's on my page all the time. We just wanted to say thanks to our sponsors, Syntex Roof Systems, Flanagan's Party Barn, and Able Towing. And next week on my show, I have Chris Dedman, and he has an extremely huge announcement. I'm going to be the first interview on any type of internet show that he's going to be telling the announcement to. He's making it actually at Phenomicon, and then he will share it with us next Sunday. So be sure to join us with Chris Dedman next Sunday. Thanks a lot for joining. Have a great week. Peace out.